Welcome back to Timeless Messages from the I Ching. This is Stephen. So if you found this video, if the title was interesting or something caught your eye about this video, there's no mistake. Your higher self, your unconscious mind, your divine essence or energy, your creator self, whatever you want to label it, is drawing you here because there's likely some form of message here that's going to help you with your current situation, help you move forward into a new perspective, and it's not by happenstance. So it doesn't matter what day this video is published or the numeric order that you watch these videos in. You don't have to watch them in order whatsoever. In fact, you shouldn't. You should just be watching the video that speaks to you, that draws to you from your inner being. So yin and yang is the expression that the I Ching draws upon. The interplay of feminine and masculine energies in Chinese philosophy is thought to be one of the most important things to pay attention to. When feminine and masculine energies are in balance, in a state of balance, then a person has good health, peace of mind, harmony, good interactions with other people, and so forth. When that balance of feminine and masculine energy is not balanced, if there's too much feminine energy or if there's too much masculine energy, then the person has problems. They can have health problems, relationship problems, energy problems, and so forth. So by feminine and masculine, it's not necessarily we're thinking about the physical body, like a man's body or a woman's body, although that's part of it too. We're thinking of types of energies, the feminine being more of a passive, reflective, introspective, receptive type of energy, the masculine energy being more active, getting things into a specific order, completing projects, the light of day, sunshine. They're both two sides of the same coin. Feminine or yin would be nighttime, masculine or yang would be daytime. So without further ado, the question I'm going to ask, as I always do, are what are the most beneficial messages for the viewers? What are the most beneficial messages for the viewers? And I'm going to cast the silver dollars that I have here and determine the yin and yang lines and create the hexagram or hexagrams that follow to guide you to the best messages for the viewers. Best messages for the viewers. Best messages for the viewers. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 6, 8. Okay, a yin line. Most beneficial messages for viewers. Most beneficial messages for viewers. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Most beneficial messages for viewers. Most beneficial messages for viewers. Timeless messages. Applies to any time. If you find this in 5 years, there's a message here for you. Most beneficial, timeless message for the viewer. Most beneficial, timeless message for the viewer when they find this video. Okay, 7. Most timeless, beneficial messages for the viewer. Most timeless, beneficial messages for the viewer. Most timeless, beneficial messages for the viewer. Okay, number 7. Get a lot of 7s here. A lot of yang energy. Masculine. Most beneficial, timeless messages for the viewer. Whenever they find this message, most timeless, beneficial messages for the viewer. Okay, another 7. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, it's a singular hexagram. I'm going to grab the text and find out what this relates to. 1 second. So this would be Chen. That's heaven or heaven. Okay, the first top 3 lines, trigram. The bottom is Shun or sun. So Chen and Shun. Okay, and that is number 44. I think that's coming to meet. Let's find out. Sometimes I can remember these. All right. Gathering together. No, that's not it. It is coming to meet. Okay, interesting. Okay. Coming to meet. Okay. So if you just relax, if you can close your eyes, if you have the ability to do so, take a few deep breaths. Tune into the thoughts or the situation, the problem, the topic that's most paramount in your experience right now. And as I read these messages, see how they fit, if they fit. Don't try to make anything fit if it doesn't fit, but pay attention to where you're at right now and relax and focus on your breathing and the message. Coming to meet the creative heaven above the gentle wind. This hexagram indicates a situation in which the principle of darkness, after having been eliminated furtively and unexpectedly, rises again from within and below. I'll read that again. These are big words. This hexagram indicates a situation in which the principle of darkness, after having been eliminated, aggressively and unexpectedly appears again from within and below. Of its own accord, the female principle comes to meet the male. It is an unfavorable and dangerous situation, and we must understand and promptly prevent the possible consequences. The hexagram is linked with the 5th month, June, July, because at the summer solstice, the principle of darkness gradually becomes ascendant or rises again. The judgment coming to meet, the maiden is powerful. One should not marry such a maiden. Ooh, okay. The rise of the inferior element is pictured here in the image of a bold girl who lightly surrenders herself and thus seizes power. This would not be possible if the strong and light-giving element had not in turn come to meet her halfway. The inferior thing seems so harmless and inviting that a man delights in it. It looks so small and weak that he or she imagines he or she may dally with it and come to no harm. The pronouns are really talking about any gender, just to put it out there, and I'll try my best to make that cohesive, but sometimes because this text was written a long time ago and these are translations, it's difficult to always get that done. So the inferior person rises only because the superior person does not regard him as dangerous and so lends him power. Let's read that again. The inferior person rises only because the superior person does not regard that person as dangerous and so lends that person power. If the inferior person were resisted from the very beginning, they could never gain influence. If the inferior person were resisted from the beginning, they could never gain influence. Powerful messages. The time of coming to meet is important in still another way. Although as a general rule, the weak should not come to meet the strong, there are times when this has great significance. When heaven and earth come to meet each other, all creatures prosper. When a prince and his official come to meet each other, the world is put in order. It is necessary for elements predestined to be joined and mutually dependent to come to meet one another halfway. Okay? But the coming together must be free of dishonest, ulterior motives. Otherwise, harm will result. Very interesting. The image under heaven, wind, the image of coming to meet. Thus does the prince act when disseminating his commands and proclaiming them to the four quarters of heaven. The situation here resembles that in hexagram 20, quan, contemplation or view. In the latter, the wind blows over the earth. Here, in this hexagram, it blows under heaven. This is the wind, and this is heaven. In both cases, it goes everywhere. That's the wind. There, the wind is on the earth and symbolizes the ruler taking note of the conditions in his or her kingdom. Here, the wind blows from above and symbolizes the influence exercised by the ruler through his or her commands. Heaven is far from the things of earth, but it sets them in motion by means of the wind. The ruler is far from its people. The ruler is far from his or her people, but the ruler sets the people in motion by means of their commands and decrees. So this hexagram is very unique. Talks about a situation in which darkness, after having been eliminated, comes back. So perhaps you're dealing with a situation that you felt like you'd already gotten through, or you're moving through right now, but perhaps a certain amount of darkness is coming through and needs to be revisited so the complete healing or resolution can occur. Darkness gradually becomes ascendant. Again, it rises again. Talks about a female that's powerful. Of course, this could be a male too. The energy of someone meeting someone else. The important message is the inferior person or thing seems harmless and inviting to the person who delights in it. It looks so small and weak that the person imagines they may interact with it and come to no harm, but this is false. Something to be aware of. Maybe you have a person in your life that you have had some difficulties with in the past, and you're still entertaining the idea of interacting with this person or this situation, this opportunity, this goal, this project. And it does look harmless and inviting. It looks so small and weak. And you imagine that you will not come to any harm. But the inferior person rises because the superior person doesn't regard this person, the inferior person, as dangerous. And so the superior person lends the inferior person power. If the inferior person were resisted from the very beginning, they could never gain influence. These are very specific messages. I hope these are making sense to your particular situation. As a general rule, the weak should not come to meet the strong. But there are times when this has great significance, as heaven and earth coming to meet each other, or when a prince or princess is meeting their official, coming to meet each other, and the world is put in order. It is necessary for elements that are destined to be joined and mutually dependent to come to meet one another halfway. But make sure that the two elements, or two people, situations that are coming together, are free of dishonest and ulterior motives. Otherwise, harm will result. So caution is very much recommended here. Okay. So heaven is far from the things of earth, but it sets them in motion by means of the wind. The ruler is far from people, but the ruler sets in motion his commands or her commands and decrees. So it's very important to have caution, discretion, to look at the situation with a new perspective, because if you entertain something that you perceive to be harmless and small, insignificant, and weak, but it turns out to be harmful to you, this could spell misfortune. So, a very specific message here today, and I hope that this speaks to you and your situation, whatever that may be. Thanks for listening.